So, this week's kit is one was not actually expecting to actually do a review on. However, you know, sometimes fate has a way of laying things up for you. This week we're going to be looking at Hobby Boss's 1/48 scale Tornado IDS. If you guys recall, a while back I did a review of Italeri's kit, so let's see how this kit compares. Now, one thing I am going to note is the box art on this particular kit is very nicely done. I do prefer this type of style. Now, so right away we have a couple different missile types in the mounting rails. Nice inclusion. Now, here we have our main cockpit tub with detailing that's pretty nice. I do like the fact that they include a fair amount of detail without having to go the photo etch route. So definitely kudos in that regard. Detailing for the exhaust area is fairly nice. The horizontal stabs connect via a sort of peg system, so that's going to be require some care to make sure you get these parts aligned properly. Also include detailing for the radar, as well as the nose cone and refueling ports here. Sorry about the noise. Fortunately, I can't do much about that. A couple odd in bays. Now, on the burners here themselves, I hate it when companies do this. It is absolute bear to fix this up. So that's a bit of a down point for this kit. Now here also, why I'm thinking about it, we have both the closed refueling probe and the open. So you can see the difference. Moving on, we have the main gear bays, as well as a couple other odds and end parts, air brakes, main gear doors, as well as some of the cockpit details, as well, and the wheels. Everything's nicely cast. Seat is, again, I apologize. Now, one thing I do not care for is the fact that they cast the horizontal stabs as two separate parts, as that just makes things a little bit more difficult. There's no reason they couldn't have done it just as single part, simplified everything. Continue on, we have our external fuel tanks. All are given nice assortment, so that's always fun there. Next up, we have our front office parts. The casting is very nice in scale, and if I recall, it does include decals. More armament parts, bombs, missiles. I'm not going to spend too much time on these, as they're fairly standard. In terms of detailing, they're about what you'd get from Hasegawa's. Now, here we have the wing root gloves area for so you can control the sweep. One of the external pods. More armaments and external details. Next up, we have our main wings. I do like the fact that they have the interlocking teeth so that you can keep the wings excuse me, basically correctly aligned with one another, so you can position them. We got our flaps and spoilerons, air brakes, whole lot of detail. Now this is probably the biggest area where the Italeri kit and the Hobby Boss kit diverge. Next up, we've got our various weapon mountings. I do not like the fact that they did split a lot of these, so you're gonna have to glue them together, as that just makes everything a little more difficult to work with. Next, we have our big tail, which to my eye at least seems bigger in comparison to the Italeri. Which of the two is now properly scaled? I'm going to lean more towards this one. We got our inlet ramps and various other odds and end parts. And much like our other engine parts, they include this stupid ass middle part. Oop. I can quickly get all this stuff back into the box. We can move on to our main fuselage parts. Now, I do like the overall look and feel that the fuselage have. God, I hate saying that. But nothing really to complain about. You're going to need to add, obviously, the tail. But overall, nicely assembled. The front area is going to need a little bit of cleanup work here on where they decided to mold the parts. However, where they chose to put the pour stubs does make some sense, as there's not as much detailing in terms of panel lines, so that should help with cleanup a little. Moving on, next to our clear parts. Detail is a little oversized here in the front, but in fact it's a little oversized all around, to be honest, but it still does the trick. Rest of the clear parts there are fine. Nothing really to write home about. Now, last but not least, we do get a small Freda photo etch to work with. Toss these back. Now, it does come with several large, decal sheets for the various armaments. All are crisp and nice register. Here have the various, as I said, various munitions and stencil decals. And now, most importantly, the main artwork, which, as much as I do like it, is going to be difficult to work with just given the size of the decals, so something to be aware of, as it is going to take a lot of work. Now, they do also include decal options for the various instrument panels. However, I would say you might want to consider going at this with a punch die and then adding the dials onto the kit for that little bit of extra detail. Now, in terms Paint schemes, we're given obviously our big main one from the box art, as well as a secondary RAF bird. Now, in terms of the construction of the kit, this is again where this one kit diverges from the Italeri, as there's a lot more detailed work that goes into it in terms of construction and building it up, as they do give you a lot more to work with. So, wings in particular are going to be a lot more difficult to work with, especially when it comes to masking. I don't know why they did the instruction sheet like this, but they did. So, I think what ultimately the big question then becomes is, in comparing the Italeri version to this version, is it worth the price difference? Now, I'm going to get this box closed. As a whole, I would say it depends. Biggest depends would be on what you intend to do. I would say this version, it's worth it if you're planning to do something, say, more diorama-ish, or you want to do something showing more of the aircraft's detail. I would say definitely it's worth every penny to go with this one, even though it's basically twice as much, if not more. However, if you're looking for more of just sort of a line bird to just show off, so to basically just to have a Tornado in your collection, then I would say go with the Italeri. It has good detail and is substantially cheaper. In terms of accuracy, I'd say it's about a toss-up between the two. I think this one being just slightly more accurate. However, it's not more accurate enough that I would say it's worth the additional cost. So, overall, I do recommend the kit, as it does, give the aircraft a really good job of representing the aircraft. However, I would say there are cheaper options out there, so something to be aware of. So that was a look at Hobby Boss's 1/48 scale Tornado IDS kit. Until next time.